You voted for it. You got it. This is our next card in the Christmas in July series with the Jolly Holly stamp set. We are going to be using the Season of Green and Gold Specialty Designer Series paper. Wow, it's just really, really nice. Some snowflake embellishments, some gold foil, little pop of red here from the Take a Bow. Take a bow, take a bow. Designer Series paper. What else? Pretty pecan. No, not pretty pecan. Pecan pie cardstock. A real red ink and mossy meadow. All right, let's get started. And we even have a little punch shape. So if you're on my newsletter, if you know about my newsletter, then you have received at least 2 notifications about this so far. Stampin' Up! Is having free shipping for 3 days. Started today. Thank you for the 3 customers who placed an order. You were all given access to all of my new tutorial bundle, which is for sale on my Etsy shop. At the end of this, I will show you all the detailed tutorials that I have created, and I'll show you what they're about. But if you want to get all of these tutorials for free, okay, you can place an order with me during free shipping, and you'll get all of these very, very detailed tutorials on these cards that I designed for my card club. Now, if you're in my card club, you're already going to get these tutorials. I'll probably share them with some other peeps as well. You know, but you definitely get them if you're in my card club. It's just that I have to go into a system and I have to tag you as a card club member and send it to you that way. But those of you who placed an order, I appreciate it. Just go to this website, and if you have an order of $75 or more at paperchef.stampinup.net, there's the website, then you will get that as a thank you from me. I'm not sending out physical items except for, I do send out cards to my customers. It's more of a digital thank you because that is going to be something you can access right away. I think that is like priceless anyway, so you'll be happy to have that. Meaning better than something physical, I think. Because you're going to be able to take what I send you and use it and apply it to all kinds of different cards. So this is the Season of Green and Gold specialty paper that was part of your card club. This month's card club had 3 papers. And you also got your cardstock swatches, 3 kinds of designer series paper, 8 card bases, 8 envelopes, 8 basic white or very vanilla inserts, die cut shapes, some ribbon, and some embellishments, and some candy treats too. So it was a really good card club this month. Next month, we're back to doing stuff that doesn't have to do with Christmas. It was just a Christmas in July one I thought would be fun. And then we'll go back to doing some more holiday stuff later when the new catalog comes out. So speaking of new catalogs, if you want the new catalog, there is a form. Just go to the description of this video, right underneath here. And there is a form that says, request a holiday catalog. And that form, just make sure you put in your address. And if you're in the U.S., I can only send catalogs to the U.S. people. So you're going to be able to get a catalog from me. All right, so please do that if you'd like one. And please do that by the end of July. Now here's what I'm going to be writing this down for you later, but this is the pecan pie card base. We're using the A2 card base in the vertical format. And I'll write down the measurements in a little bit. You know the drill. I always write down the measurements for you. So I can only send catalogs to those of you in the U.S. Now, if you request a catalog by the end of July, that means I'm going to send it from Stampin' Up. Only thing I want you to make sure of for this piece of paper is that you have your orientation vertical. Let me see if I'm going to do 2 at once. Hold on. Let's see if I have an extra pecan. If I have an extra pecan pie, which I don't, but I do have. Oh, we could do one. We'll do one like this with cherry cobbler. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay, we're going to make 2 cards. I always like to give you an alternate version. So let's go ahead and make 2 cards that are the same. We'll do this for the one with the inside being, and we will do another one with some other really cool paper. Anywho, my Okay, I really like this. Paper's going to be the inside of the one card. I really like the shiny sides. Oh, we can use that for the inside of a different card. And, well, you know what? There's really no substitute for how great this paper is. So we'll use this paper for both backgrounds. I mean, it just doesn't get better than that. It's just so nice with the gold foil. All right, so you want to make sure your orientation is going up and down like that. So 4 inches times 5 1/4. Okay. We're going to save these little strips because we can use those to make our inside little layer in a little bit. So let's take that. Now we have, that is done. And we're going to take the very vanilla pieces. And we're going to take those and we're going to put that over here. Let's go with okay, 3 3/4 wide. I'm not sure if they're like stacking together. Stack, stack. You can cut up to 3 pieces of DSP, but just make sure they're stacked close together. So 3 3/4 by 2 1/2. Okay, and these are going to be our pieces for inside. And now we need some gold foil. Let's put these over here. Gold foil, gold foil. Well, you have a piece in your kit. I always give you some specialty papers, but let's just use this little piece I already have in my cut up package. All right, we're going to go with, this is, oh, okay, this is already, this one is going to be 1 1/2. So we do need that other piece here. So we'll use 1 1/2. Let's go ahead and make those 1 1/2. I gave you 3 inches, so you have 1 1/2 on each of these cards. All right, let's get this assembled first before we move on to the red piece and the other little piece for the inside. So there's this, oh, let's see. Hello, Christina phone. I'm just going to say hi to you guys as I'm doing it. There's this little piece in the middle, but I want to use this little pop of red in this one, but I'm going to use a pop of something else for the cherry cobbler, maybe from the Season of Elegance, because this one is Take a Bow. So because this real red is not going to go with the cherry cobbler, as you could see, but it'll be on the pecan pie piece. So we're just using some, so you're basically using Season of Green and Gold specialty paper, available now, if it's still available. I mean, it's just amazing paper. And then, you know, by the time our new catalog comes out, I will not get sick of this paper because I've been using it for years now, but I will hope it stays in stock during this free shipping time because I do want to get some more. I absolutely love it. Oh, love that. So I'm just putting this little piece right there in the middle, centering that. You can use glue or Seal Plus. I'm also getting some, I already got my Halloween paper for my kits next month, but I'm doing a big Halloween special series, like a workshop series, and that is going to be for the months of August and September. That way you have plenty of time for your Halloween treats, and I'm doing that. And I have, I'm going to get some splendid autumn paper to put in that kit. So that's what it's on my wish list for the free shipping time. Okay, so I'm going to put that like across. Okay, and like so. So now before I go cut it the size I need it, let's get the next layers. So this one is a little leftover piece. So this was, I just want to see what size it was. Okay, it was 1 inch. All right, so we need an inch of this pop of, we're going to get a pop of red from this other package called Take a Bow. Take a bow, take a bow. And then we're going to get the, so that would be the real red one. So we got an inch. And then I believe this one would be then half an inch. Yeah. Well, 3/4, let's say. Was it? Let's check if it was. Nope, it was half an inch. So we're going to make these little strips half an inch. I probably should cut 2 at once, but we'll go ahead and cut 1 at a time. So we have a half an inch for that one. Half an inch for this one. So that'll go like this. Put the little adhesive along here. So you're going for these. We're just doing a bunch of layers on this card. Lots of fun stuff here. Look at all the way those cute polka dots line up together. We'll go ahead and line this up on the gold. All right. So that's like that. And then I'm just going to take that and put it on which card? We'll put that on this card. Well, let's see. We already did a card like this. Let's do it on this card just to make this card slightly different with that pattern. Okay, so we'll put it on this card. There is a method to my madness. I have a little bit of like issue where I don't want things sticking out. So I'm just gonna stick it on the card and then cut the excess off. All right, now come on now. I don't want this to get jammed up on me. Okay, we're gonna line that up. And again, make sure your paper's going the right way. All right, good. I'm going to cut the excess off. This is the way I like to do it. It just gives me even cards without having to worry about those extra pieces not fitting. All right, I think that one looks really good. Now we're going to do the other one. We need a pop of the Season of Elegance because this one actually has a little bit of cherry cobbler in it. So we're going to just use mostly Season of Green and Gold. But this piece here, we're going to get that little inch piece that we need, right? From this one so that it matches with the cherry cobbler. That's the paper we used on our first card in this series. So we need this to go onto here and this to go onto there. You know, I want to grab some. I'm feeling like I need to use liquid glue for this little piece. I'm feeling the liquid glue is better. Whenever you want to reposition something and you want it to be more forgiving, use liquid glue. But do use the ledges of your paper trimmer to line things up, for sure. All right, so now back to, I was going to say hi to you guys. Now back to saying hello. Make sure you just, write, if you're here. I know some of you like to lurk and you don't like to say hello and participate in the chat. But if you will, oh wait, I'll use this one. For this one, on the gold part, I will use the Seal Plus. But go ahead and say hi in the chat. Because you meet your same friends here on my live streams over time. It's kind of fun. And then you can maybe meet at bingo this Saturday if you guys are coming to the Zoom bingo. I'll do another bingo in the fall. Once I see what products the new catalog has to offer, I'll feature something. I'm sure in one of my card clubs that I also have in bingo or one of my workshops that I also have in bingo. And if worst comes to worst, we'll just do a Halloween bingo because we'll have already invested. Sorry, I'm just getting the little glue off there. I try to do a bingo on something that's either already being used for one of my workshops or my card club. That way everybody has really a good value for their investment, because you get to use something over and over again for the different events that I'm hosting. See how that just gives you like that wiggle room? Because you have the glue and you get to wiggle it for a moment and it gets to like line up flush on there. Now, I do save these extra bigger scraps like this because I like to die cut those. But I'll let the glue dry a little bit on that one. All right, now we're going to mount these onto our cards. We'll mount this one onto this one, and we'll mount this one onto the cherry cobbler, because that's how I matched them up. All right, so there you go. I keep on checking the right orientation of the paper. Now for this ribbon, now the ribbon we used the other day on the card, we did tuck it around the sides. And if I was to use a big piece of ribbon, I would tuck it around if it was thin ribbon. But this ribbon is textured ribbon. Okay, I have to always make sure I look at the way the paper orientation is. I like the way that they're lined up that way better. So I'm going to put that paper this way, where they're lined up straight up and down. Nice. And then on the alternate card version with the cherry cobbler, let's make sure, well, I'll make sure before I stick it down. Yeah, I just like it oriented that way better. All right, with the heavy lifting out of the way, we have the cards there. So now we can get the ribbon and all the other stuff. So ribbon is something I put in your kit here. I don't think I even labeled it. Some wavy trim it was called. So it had some name like wavy trim, natural wavy trim, something like that. So I'm just trying to see if I have any that's already off the roll. So that's the... Okay, I'm getting out everything I need. I need dimensionals. This is for my Halloween kit. You're getting some of that ribbon in your kit, so I just have that out. Let's look for the natural wavy. All right. It's easier just to get them off a new ribbon spool. All right, so you have these little pieces of trim. All right, now I'm going to just say hi as I'm doing this. Now, if you have ribbon that's really wrinkly, you can iron it with your heat press. That's a little tip for you. If you have a little mini heat press, like the kind we use to iron on vinyl in our home decor projects, in my scan and cut courses. I'm not turning that on right now, though. I'm just going to use the heat from the friction of my fingers to flatten this out. And it's very humid in Georgia right now, so we can hopefully get the wrinkles out pretty quickly. All right, anyway, back to saying hello. Christina Fullen, nice to see you again, and thank you for being a YouTube channel member. I will definitely be sending you my tutorial later, so stand by. You don't have to buy it. It just takes me a little while logistically. I tried to just email everybody the tutorial, but there was like 20 megabytes. Okay, so what I'm doing is just kind of measuring how big it needs to be, and then you can, if you want to make the ends loose, you can. At first I frayed the edges, and that didn't really work, so instead I just sort of, I just kind of plunked it on there and it just seemed to work. All right, so just let it fray itself, in other words. Just put the little piece there of the trim, and then if it wants to fray at the ends, let it fray. Let it fray, let it fray. Anyway, so instead of sending it, the tutorials, I'm just like putting them in the Google Drive and sending you guys the link, or attaching them to a place you can download via my automation software. I'm trying to automate my business more. Trying to make it all more streamlined. Anyway, you'll get everything I promised you. And if it takes me a little extra time. Okay. And hello, Phil. Nice to see you again. Be Pre, glad you're here. This one's just happened to be a little longer. Be Pre's also watching from Georgia. So you know what I'm talking about being humid in Texas. It's just like not really sticking on there. There we go. I was putting a little piece under where the embellishment's going to go. Okay, now we'll stamp a little bit. So I needed to get some more of these shapes I had. I just grabbed this very vanilla shape I had. Because I need this shape here. So I know I'm cutting apart one shape to make another, but that's because I didn't feel like getting out new cardstock. If I have to get out cardstock, I will. But I'm just cutting one shape out of another, and then I had another one right here. So we're going to use the Heartfelt Hexagon punch, and we're going to make the Mossy Meadow leaves go on there first. So on here, Jolly Holly stamp set, just take out this little leaf, this little sprig, and go ahead and mount it onto your stamping block. Face up, the flat side up. Test it onto a piece of paper. Test it on a piece of paper first. And then stamp it close to the top of your die cut shape. Turn your die cut shape vertically. Tap, tap, tap again and turn it upside down. And then stamp some Mossy Meadow down the bottom. Okay, looks good. Oh yeah, I love those little extra accents. Then we're gonna open up the real red. Close the Mossy Meadow. I'm grabbing a new stamping block, and we're going to go ahead and use that stamp set that I love to use. Flat side up, mount it up there. Holly and Jolly. Stamp onto your scrap paper, or in my case, a sticky note. And then onto your die cut shape. Okay, lift it up, tap it off. Don't slide it off, don't push it off, or you'll smear your stamp. Just let it stick from the friction and from the ink, the liquid of the ink. But then like tap it off, don't push it off. Because if you push it off, you'll end up with like smeared stamps like that. All righty. As I mentioned before, this is one I've already washed. And I'm keeping it mounted because I'm using it a lot this season. Merry Christmas can be mounted on the same stamp together and centered the way you like it. You can mix and match these different phrases. And this nice stamp set, which, again, get during free shipping, guys. If you spend $75 or more during these 3 days, that's something you can get if you don't already have it. And it does have a bundle of really cool products that goes with it. I didn't get the bundle because this is something that I had as a prize. So I didn't get the bundle. But there's like a hybrid embossing folder that coordinates with this, and some dies, and it cut out little pieces of holly and all this business. So if you want that whole thing and you want a bunch of things, you can get some holiday things now. You don't have to wait for the new holiday catalog to come out in September. In fact, by that time, get some of this beautiful paper. You could be done making your cards. All right, so what I'm doing is putting the because you can't really stick these onto the natural wavy trim, it won't really hold the natural wavy trim because it's already pretty lumpy anyways, but I'm just putting a couple of these down. And then I'll look here and kind of go like that. Okay, we're going to put a couple more down. So I'm going to use 4 dimensionals, but I'm not putting them on the actual wavy trim. I'm just putting them on the foil part. Okay, and then we're going to put this little sentiment down here. Okay, again, I'm using Very Vanilla because Very Vanilla is in this paper. Push down on it. I'm using this other piece to push down on it so because I don't want it to smear. The ink should be dry, but oh, that's so cute. We still have little snowflakes to add on to there. I love it though. Do you guys love how easy these are when you just follow a pattern, make more than one at a time, and you could just, I mean, I could have made so many more at the same time. All right, so Melissa from Texas is watching. Sarah from Australia, nice to see you again. Hi, Karen. Darrellton, thank you for being a channel supporter and for watching live. Again, you're always here. Oops. You guys know I'm a night owl. Sometimes I come on here really late, and then I get my Australian friends watching with me, even if everyone in the U.S. is asleep. I was up till way after midnight making those posts about the sale last night. Melissa's saying it's funny to watch Christmas in July because it's so hot in South Central Texas. I know, but aren't you going to be happy to be done with these cards and have your Christmas in July done? I actually am going to have 20 or so projects from this and my scan and cut course where I made some pop-up cards. And then I have, some other Christmas cards I used to have from last season and different times. So yeah, I have a lot of Christmas in July, a lot of cards done already. All right, so we're going to embellish with some snowflakes. Thank you. Melissa saying lovely cards. Hello, Elaine. Nice to see you. And thank you, Elaine, for reminding everybody to give it a thumbs up if you liked the video. Thank you guys for doing that. I appreciate your comments and liking and, of course, subscribing if you're new here. Yep, humidity stinks, I know, Elaine. Okay, hi, Robbie. Nice to see you. Humid in Minnesota, too. Yeah, we've been having rain, and I had to leave my garage open because the birds were, sleeping in my garage, and then my cat was trying to chase them and everything. They wouldn't leave my garage. They were roosting in there, so I left the garage open for them because if I was afraid they'd be so hot in there if I shut the garage. All right, where was I? Oh, I was with the snowflakes. Snowflakes. Let me see what I had. Let me see what I can embellish these with. I just need some extra. I have loads and loads of these little peppermint ones. But where are my snowflakes? I guess I'll just open up the package I sent you guys. All right, let me just see if they're anywhere else in here. No. I try to use other ones that are open first before I have to ransack the packages I sent you guys because I like to put these in my mystery crafty surprises, but it's okay, I'll use them. All right, so we're going to take these little snowflakes I sent you guys and we're going to just kind of pop. Let me see what I did on my card. Let's look at my original card, see how I did it. I just did a gold, a copper, and a white. And the reason it worked is because they contrast with the Very Vanilla. All right, I'm going to use my little spatula from the Take Your Pick tool because it's hard to get these up without bending the metal from these snowflakes. And if you're wondering if you can still get these, I don't think so. I don't know. I don't think so. So I'm going to take one of each and put them up here. I had these hoarded for you guys from last season, I think. But, if they are still available, please someone let us all know. We, inquiring minds, want to know. I'll go ahead and put a white one over there. And then I'll put a copper. So when I'm just mixing it up, I have a gold, white, copper. Okay, just doing 3 like an odd number here. Gold, or no, that's copper, and then gold. And then what I'll do is I'll use the small white one. Then I still have enough for a third card. And then you also have your little red bling, which would look really nice on there too. The real red gems. All right, we are done, and it wasn't that easy. We made 2 cards, and I'm going to remind you about the free shipping special going on right now as I grab the piece of paper to write down your measurements. And then stick around at the end. We'll have, a few more sneak peeks like I've been doing at the end of my other tutorials this week. And we still have one more Card on Blue Card Club tutorial this week to do for Christmas in July. So this one is going to be the pecan pie. It is July 2025, Card on Blue. Card on Blue is the name of my card club. Lots of perks if you purchase an annual subscription and you save on that, or you could just subscribe by the month or just get 1 kit at a time. Next month, we're featuring the Everyday Skies, a really cool stamp set. All right, so this card is an A2 card. It is 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches. And you're going to score that card at 5.5 inches. Okay? Repeat, pecan pie cardstock. You're going to be making an A2 vertically oriented card like so. And you're going to be scoring your pecan pie card base. It is 11 inches by 4 1/4 inches, and you're scoring it at 5.5 inches. Oh, go ahead and put a piece of Very Vanilla on the inside of this, or basic white. Either will work for the inside of your card. All right, then we have many layers for this card. Layer 1 is going to be 5 1/4 times 4 inches. Again, layer 1 is 5 1/4 times 4 inches. All right, let's see if I can, I don't know how I did it, but I buried all of my measurement, my little booklet. There we go. Okay, next layer is going to be layer 2 is going to be 3 3/4 inches times 2 1/2 inches. All right, so far, these layers are going to be using the Season of Green and Gold Specialty Designer Series paper. So Season of Green and Gold Specialty DSP. So that is layers 1, 2, and layers 5 will also use that. Okay, layers 1, 2, and 5 use that kind of paper. All right, so for layer 3, it's a piece of gold foil. Gold foil. The measurements for layer 3 are 4 inches times 1.5 inches. Okay, now layer 4. We're using different kinds of paper for layer 4, but we went with 1 inch. We're going to go 4 inches times 1 inch. And for layer 4, you're going to either use Take a Bow, if you want. Take a Bow paper is if you want that little piece of real red, or you can use Season of Elegance paper if you want a little piece of cherry cobbler. So I'm going to say or. Season of Elegance. All right, now we're back to layer 5, which is going to be, layer 5 is back to using, so layer 1, 2, and 5 are all using the Season of Green and Gold. So hopefully get those little arrows better. Specialty DSP. All right. And you're going to have a little strip of that. It's 4 inches times 1/2 inch. And those are your layers. The ink color, I'm going to go and put the ink up here in the corner. So we can put it, yeah, we'll put it right here. Ink is going to be Mossy Meadow and Real Red. I hope I don't smear my hand on this. Let's find the other cards so you can take a picture. Okay, here's what we created today. Let's move that into the camera view a little better. And let's see. Trying to see my fingers over there. Okay, good. Close enough. Trying to get everything into the camera. Can I zoom out at all? Nope. Can't zoom out anymore. But you get the idea. So take your screenshot there. A little ink in the picture where that glare is. You might be wondering, what do I do with all these tutorials? Like, what do I do with all of these measurements? Besides having you guys have them as part of this tutorial, I like to design in my little book. Then I give you the measurements bigger and during the video. And I keep all these papers then, and I, write down the Card on Book Card Club. Now, I'm not sure, when I'll get to every single one of them. But what I do is I spend countless hours going through these, okay? I do save them. I staple them together. Like this was all the May Card Club. And then I even redid the back. I even redid a whole outline on the back just for myself. And then I designed them on the computer. And that's how I came up with your tutorials. So you're going to get to see that in a moment. Let me just show you what else we made this month and what we're making. Okay, so for the next card in the series, the one we'll make hopefully tomorrow is this card here. It's also featuring the season of green and gold. If you want to prepare yourself for this card, this takes a while to cut out this. So you could go ahead and cut it out either with your scan and cut. It's pretty easy with your scan and cut. Or with a pair of scissors and just kind of give it a little raggy edge. So you have a nice little embellishment to pop up. You don't need to use Wink of Stella on it or anything. It already has that beautiful gold foiling on it. We'll be using the Real Red in the Mossy Meadow again. We'll be using this red gems from our ribbons. So this is our Mossy Meadow card. Okay, so we'll be making that. And then we have made already this month the season, or this week actually, Season of Elegance cards, which just already shine so well with like the foil paper. We don't even need a lot of extra bling on those. And then using the other kind of designer series paper I sent you, we have the Take a Bow. We made these, and then I had the alternate one. So like this is the orientation, your garden green. The orientation was vertical. And then that's the horizontal version of the same card design. Okay, so when I take all of these tutorials and I spend the time to go through all of this for you, then what ends up happening, and what I plan on doing with like this Christmas in July, I don't think I'll do it to the June one, but I do feel like I'm going to do it to the Christmas in July set, is the same thing I'm doing here, okay? So another benefit of being in my card club is these tutorials that you're going to get, these extra tutorials. So here is what we made in our May club using the blooming phrases. So that chicken scratch you saw me use the papers for, and I do give you the measurements here on YouTube, so you may have the measurements in your own booklets already. Well, I take them and I put them into comprehensive tutorials, which have all of the measurements, materials, card. I even use the hexadecimal cards to get the colors to come out the way that the layers are. And I make the panels and I make the measurements for you. And then I give details. I give you a final look at the card, tips and tricks along the way, and an extra summary of measurements and links to all the products I used in there. Okay? So this is what is on my Etsy shop right now. If you shop with me, you get this for free, this whole bundle of tutorials. But for $9.99, you can get the whole bundle on Etsy and just download it. So here are all the tutorials, and see how they go with, like, this is the card that went with this. So I photographed that card, and then this card is here, and a different kind of designer series paper. you know, a different panel, a different panel of measurements and a different card base structure. Okay, and then the thinking of you. Okay, so these are not your regular, this isn't your regular like 1-page tutorial. This is like accumulation of a lot of work that goes into my card club. Okay, so while I love just putting it on YouTube, so that's fine, and you can get it off of YouTube. But if you like to download it, then and have it to use this PDF over and over again for your other designs. And this is for my bingo. I'm having a bingo event. I also come up with the measurements for that. That's an alternative card. Then, you know, please get the tutorial from Etsy. All right, what else? I was going to give you a sneak peek of something else. Oh, by the way, the tutorial on Etsy, the bundle of tutorials, the 4 PDFs that you can download as separate files are going to be in the top link. I think it's the top link in the description of this video. All right, let's show you what is in my latest scan and cut course. Oh, by the way, I did this, I did a little video of these cards the other day, and it got 20,000 views on my Instagram. So I thought, this is going to be my next card making series, I think. I'm going to take one of these and feature. So I think I'll take the first one, probably the one, like one of the thank you cards in a vertical orientation, and I will actually do a workshop series on that because it was so popular. People were like watching the videos and being like, can I have the tutorial for that? How did you make those? And they really liked that panel design. So because it was so popular, I'm going to do a little workshop series on it. And workshop series are something I do on my Udemy program, just like I do my scan and cut courses where I break down every single step in a separate video, step by step for you. My workshops for card making are very popular on there. All right, so these are just some things I made in this month's course that came out on my Udemy platform. It is called Brother Scan and Cut, Cut and Be Merry. In that course, you learn how to make these boxes called the the milk carton boxes. Teach you how to work with that template maker and your scan and cut to create these fun boxes. I also teach you how to use Canvas Workspace software to create these snowmen that you can use to embellish your boxes. And I teach you start to finish how to make this pop-up card. Here's like a little side view of your pop-up card. And you could try to do this with your trimmer, but it's just so much better with the scan and cut. The accuracy is amazing. And also you're going to learn how to weld shapes together to make your own snowman. Really fun tutorials in that course. All right, those are 2 of the projects. Let me put these away and just show you some more projects. Oh, that was some more projects are, so that was the pop-up card, snowman project, the milk carton project. You have this honeycomb ornament project, which really helps when you make a lot of circles with your scan and cut. I'll try to also do a project similar to this on my YouTube channel without the scan and cut. I think that'd be fun as well. But if you have a scan and cut, by all means use it because it saves you loads and loads of time. Okay, another project that you're going to learn to do in this course is making these mini treat boxes with double-sided paper. And I've used these at this month's card club. This month's card club got the color swatches. And then you got the ring. You got a ring for your color swatches. If you didn't get a large ring, let me know because I have 2 large rings left that I can send to my card club members. Some of you got the small rings. And I have these 2 sizes of rings. So if you only got the small rings, you know, just let me know. I don't know who I sent which ring to. I'm glad I have 2 rings left. And this is the color swatches that you had in this month's card club. Lots of surprises. Every month it's something different. And some candies. All right. What else was in this class? I have Christmas trees and ornaments. So this is called Brother Scan and Cut, Cut and Be Merry. And in this course, you learned how to make this rosette Christmas tree. I don't just show you how to cut things, guys. I show you how to assemble things, how to repurpose your and redo and make things your own, and how to change up the sizes, and how to work with Canvas workspace software for making your projects. So that is the Scan, Cut, and Be Merry course. You have 5 projects start to finish. Some of the tutorials of the measurements are already in there, and some are up, coming up soon. But the coupons are only when you sign up for my newsletter. Well, actually, I do put them in this link to the description sometimes in the video, but go ahead and you can use, sign up for my newsletter and you'll get coupons to my courses. But you could sign up for my course now by using the link. Cut and Be Merry, that's on the Udemy platform. Hello, Michelle. Nice to see you again. And thank you, Robbie, for your comment. And, yep, Karen, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. Same here. All right, so that's about all I have going on for now. Download the tutorial if you like it. If you'd like to get it for free, shop with me during the free shipping days. And when you spend $75 or more, I'm going to send you these tutorials, like all 4 of these tutorials. If you're in my card club, you're also getting the tutorials. Okay, for bingo, I'll see you guys at bingo on Saturday night. Not giving any more sneak peeks of that because my table is too full at this moment. Maybe tomorrow night. Notes and Totes is going on. This month's series and next month's series will be Halloween. So look out for the next Halloween kit that you can register for up until the 10th of August. Okay? Look out for that. Have a great evening, everybody. Thank you for watching. This is the Papered Chef.